This movie's got a really important message. It's just one that I feel really strongly about, and I'll dive into it after the jump.
Blinded by the light, revved up like a douche, another runner in the night.
Be honest, do you know Manfred Mann's version better because it is better? I love that song too. So Blinded by the Light's based on a true story. It takes place in 1987 in the small town of Luton. It's in the UK. We got a dude named Javed, that's Javed. Javed's life kind of sucks, because his father is one of those fathers that sticks to his old tradition. He's like, your dreams don't matter, you have to do what's best for the family. Javed wants to be a writer, but his father just won't let him. So he goes to a new school and he makes a friend who introduces him to the music of Bruce Springsteen, probably one of the most influential writers of his time, and Bruce's music changes Javed's life forever. And now we have our movie, which I thought was pretty good. First off, you relate to Javed because we've all had that moment where we're introduced to something and then it changes our lives for the better, whether it's music or something else, so you know what he's going through. And he meets this girl, Eliza, they have a little romance going on. That was pretty cute to see, and the dialogue between them was written pretty realistically, given the situation in the UK in 1987. And I didn't even know this, but there was some pretty harsh racism going on. And in quite a few scenes, that issue was front and center. Certainly educated me. I was like, holy shit, was it that bad? I didn't even know about this. Which makes it especially bad for Javed's father, who, alright, the man who played his father in this movie is probably the best actor in the movie. And this is where we get into the message that I was talking about in the intro. Because again, he is so planted in his traditions. He's not letting Javed pursue his dreams. And if you ask me, that is not a good parent. There were a few scenes in this movie where Javed actually stands up for himself and tells his father, no, this is what I want to do. You're not going to stop me. He pretty much says, to hell with your traditions. I'm going to do me. I love that shit. I mean, I'm kind of lucky in the sense that my parents were never really like that. They let me do what I wanted. But a lot of parents in this world, even still today, are more like Javed's father in this movie. You know, they say these traditions are for the family, there's for what's best for the family, but really, let's be honest, it's for themselves. The really important message here is that you cannot be afraid to follow your dreams no matter what stands in your way, including your parents. I feel like that is so important because if you don't follow your dreams, then you're just gonna end up regretting it for the rest of your life and hating yourself. And what kind of life is that? Like, there's a scene in the movie where Javed's in the car with his father, and Javed's really letting him have it, and his father's like, no one talks to me like that, get out of the car. And Javed does get out of the car. I just wanted to be like, gladly. I just applaud this movie for conveying this message really well. Hayley Atwell's in this movie. She plays Javed's writing professor. And it's funny because her first scene in this movie, I immediately saw why she was cast. Because she's walking around her class conveying her rules, her beliefs, pretty much channeling her Agent Carter. And I like that she supported Javed in his pursuits. And yeah, his pursuits are all thanks to the music of Bruce Springsteen. So Javed becomes a little obsessed. And by a little, I mean a way lot. Like at a point I was like, he's got kind of a man crush on this guy. Which is funny because again, I can relate. We've all gone through phases in our lives where we're obsessing over something and we get way carried away. That's just how human psychology works sometimes. You find something that so fits you and you like it so much that you start to model yourself after it. True story, when I was in high school, I started my Beatles phase and I became obsessed. I got all the albums, I even got some records, and I even gave myself a bowl cut. Yeah, that's real, 10th grade. So seeing Javed going through his Springsteen obsession in this movie was almost like looking in a mirror. It was cool. However, there were some scenes where it started to get a little too cheesy and over the top. I'd almost call this movie like a pseudo-musical, because there are points where Javed just starts singing out loud a Bruce Springsteen song, and people will join in and people will dance with him. He and his friends will be running down the street singing Baby We Were Born to Run. Everyone's dancing in slow motion. I'm like, okay. Just a little too cheesy for my taste. Also, I noticed there are a lot of close-ups of Javed's face in this movie. Like a lot of them. Like the camera will zoom in on his face and he'll have this dramatic expression for like 15 seconds. I'd be like, alright, I get it. Can we look at something else? Not that he's unappealing, but can we move on with the scene? One more gripe I have is that I wish there was more of a variety of Bruce Springsteen music in the film. I mean, yeah, most of the soundtrack is Bruce Springsteen music, but I noticed that, like, some of the songs they've played, like, 2 or 3 times in the movie, like, they play the same song over and over in different scenes, unlike the movie Yesterday, where it was a different Beatles song every scene. Funny thing is, I was never actually a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I mean, he's fine, but I don't really listen to him that much. My mom's a huge fan of his, though, but I don't see myself getting this soundtrack, except maybe Born to Run. That song's pretty good. And the Manfred Mann version of Blinded by the Light. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. Bruce Springsteen's music just never really clicked with me. That being said, though, he is one hell of a songwriter. I'll give him that. So in the end, I thought this movie was pretty darn good. The characters are very likable. The story's really good. I really love the message that this movie conveys. I just love it to death because I feel it is really important. The music is good if you're into Bruce Springsteen, but there were some pretty cheesy parts and the movie dragged on a couple times. I did actually check my watch at a couple points. This scene where he listens to Bruce Springsteen for the first time is 35 minutes into the movie. Just saying. For Blinded by the Light, I will say,
go see this movie while it's in theaters.
So Blinded by the Light, have you seen it? What did you think about it? And if you're a Springsteen fan, then what's your favorite Bruce Springsteen song? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.